How great is this studio? How does it feel?
Well, it'll feel better when it's completed. You know,
It's beautiful.
we had to bribe the carpet people to stay all night.
How did you ever think the show was going to be this successful?
No.
You have blown up these girls' careers. These girls are trifectas of talent.
Well, now, that's a little, let's just say I've been doing this for a long time. I've made a lot of other people's children famous.
Wow. Yeah. Do you want to adopt me or?
Yeah, well, I'm kind of over it now. I'm done. You know, you'd make them famous and then they kick you in the teeth. And you start all over again.
The consensus is here everybody owes everything to you. They love you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's nice to know.
Saying, listen
We'll see when they're 30 if they send a Christmas card. We'll see.
I think they might send a basket. What do
We'll see. We'll see.
What do you
I've
think?
had kids in 17 different Broadway shows. People don't know that about me. Everybody thinks that Lifetime just plucked this dance teacher from Pittsburgh out of the water, the Three Rivers. It didn't work that way. Not at all. I've been going to the Tonys. I've been doing all this stuff for a long time. It just, you know, it came to television. I was not supposed to be on the show. The show was sold. It was supposed to be, the show that was pitched was the Abby's Ultimate Dance Competition. That's the real show. Showing a dance competition like So You Think You Can Dance or Dancing with the Stars, but with children and with the moms and the drama. And I wanted the dance teachers involved, everyone. And at the time, Lifetime didn't really have a housewife show. Bravo, everybody was blowing up with these housewife shows. And so they needed something. So it was originally supposed to be a housewife show with 10% of dance. It was around a dance studio. And
boom.
I wasn't on the show. I wasn't on the show. I was never interviewed. I was never put on camera. I was not on the show. I was just a choreographer. So the very first day, they were in my studio in Pittsburgh, and I was choreographing a number, and this psycho woman started chasing me around the studio. And then I said that line to the police. I called the police and they said, does she have any weapons? And I said, no, just her mouth. So when that got back to the network, they were like, who is this lady? Like, who is this? And they were like, well, that's Abby. She owns the studio. And they were like, why don't we know her? So that's how it happens.
There it is.
There it
So
is.
you obviously have a ton of experience. I've done a lot. What do you think is the secret? I mean, if you can narrow it down to women, all these girls that watch your show, what can they do to get farther, to push themselves, to get to be as successful as some of your girls?
You have to want it. That's the biggest thing. I can teach a child to dance. I can correct their problems. I can hide their flaws with the costume. I can do all of that. But if they don't really want it, it won't happen. And that it's hard to teach a child to want it, to be passionate about it, to eat, sleep, breathe. You know, even these kids, they're lazy slugs. I have been telling them on the road for probably 5 seasons. In the hotel, when we're in the hotel rooms, get out in the hall, walk on your hands down the hall, turn around, walk back. Once a night. Before you go to bed. Flex and point your feet. Roll through the arches of your feet 100 times. Like, that's all it would take. Consistent. And you don't need a teacher. You don't need to pay for a private lesson. You don't need your mother to tell you. Just do it.
Want to do it and
They don't. Ask any one of them to walk down the hall and turn around and walk back. They can't do it because they'd rather be on their phone. They would rather be watching TV. They'd rather be like laying on the couch doing nothing. And that's what's wrong with a lot of the kids today.
Well, I do think persistence is a huge part of what makes anyone successful.
Persistence and just, you know,
Commitment.
and I think thinking for yourself, being an independent thinker, thinking what do I want and how do I get it?
Are you loving LA? Are you enjoying it out in our sunshine?
I like LA. I'm a good driver. I feel
You're
like
from the East Coast, as am I, so we're good
yes,
drivers.
we're good drivers, and I also think that if this fails, I can teach driver's ed because I can sit on my ass and yell at teenagers. I'm like really good at that. So
You found your calling.
yes, I just don't understand why they don't have green turning arrows.
No.
Every light should have a left green turning arrow, and then
Why people are
there may be all
texting
this problem.
instead of making the left.
Well, they obviously did not see the last text because they would not be doing that.
What's coming up for us, for you guys next season? What can we
I don't know if
expect?
there will be a next season. You know, we've been asked about season 6. My attorney has mentioned it. My good, wonderful attorney that I have now, not the one I had in the beginning when I made the mistakes. And I don't know. I have some other projects in the work. I'm actually working. The person's here, I think, that's writing a new TV show. So
Will you be out here full time in LA?
no. I'll be back in Pittsburgh. That's home. I built that, my mom and dad and we built that from the ground up. It's mine, I own it. So I have to pay attention to those kids. There's some incredible dancers there. I've had better dancers than are on the show, but their mothers weren't crazy. Their mothers were sweet and nice and paid their bill on time. So they don't make good TV.
Yeah. Well, you've got a lot of wonderful girls that are very talented underneath you, and boys who are really striving
I
to be.
have a boy right now who's in Matilda here.
Okay.
That's just opening. Yeah. One of my boys from Pittsburgh. Hello, my name is Abby Lee Miller, and you've just been buzzed.